first, let me talk about from a background on StorageSwiss, on who we are and what we do. We're an analyst firm. We're focused on the storage, virtualization, and cloud computing marketplaces. We're probably a pretty good fit for this type of a market. We get a lot of our information through briefings, testing, and decades of real-world experience. So we have our own lab facilities that we can bring these products in and see what's going on and how they're working. And then finally, we put all these into articles and screencasts, so you can read or not read, you can do videos, you can do whatever you want. Just go to our website here, storage-switzerland.com. We also do blogging and writing for the various trade publications as well. So let's talk about why we're here. Server virtualization makes storage complex, and it really shouldn't. So we need to work on why that is and how we can fix it. So let's talk about that. And to get there, we need to ask some real basic questions on why this is. So it really comes down to I/O and capacity. What is making this so difficult is that we're taking 48 very lightweight, simple servers that weren't bothering anybody until you guys decided to put them all in one box, right? And now all of a sudden, instead of 48 servers, assuming we do 12, we end up with 4 big, powerful I/O demons, right, that are causing problems in the environment. And what that does is it really impacts capacity and I/O performance. So let's talk about some ways we might be able to fix that. From a capacity standpoint, how do we add capacity without disrupting availability, right? And that's one of the big challenges that we face in virtualized environments. We get involved in server virtualization projects all the time, and I think we write pretty good virtualization plans. The challenge, though, is we almost always screw up how many VMs you're going to end up with because it becomes way popular. You know, it's kind of like when you buy storage, just always double the number. Well, and with VMs, you can quadruple it and still be more, right? So dealing with this capacity issue really becomes a problem. And then finally, how do you add additional capacity without having to add a brand new system? That's another big challenge that we face today in the market. And so we'll talk about both of those. The big one, though, and one of my favorites, is I/O. I/O is a big challenge because all of a sudden, these questions that normally used to be no are now yeses, and those yeses are affecting your environment. So the first one is, can you generate enough performance on a per physical host level to really need faster storage? Well, we just took those 48 servers, put them on the 4 boxes. All of a sudden, we have all the I/O we can get. Secondly, is can you deliver the I/O, can the network deliver that I/O across the channel to the storage? Well, with the affordability of 10 gig and multiple 1 gig NICs, now all of a sudden we can move a lot of I/O across the network. So that becomes a challenge. So the answer in many environments now to these first 2 questions is yes, and where the complexity comes in is right here on these last 2 questions. Can your storage controller or your NAS bed process the I/Os quickly enough that it would make a difference, right? And that tends to be one of the big limiters that we see today in the environment. And then finally, can the storage cells themselves be able to respond and deliver that I/O fast enough, right? So we're going to explore those and go into some detail on this in the rest of the presentation. And really what happens is how you answer these questions, and probably more importantly, how your storage vendor responds to your answers, really impacts how complex or simple your storage environment becomes in a server virtualized infrastructure. So we're going to go through that and spend some time on it.